I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. Something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. Feeling I have nothing left to hide. I'll say what you know it when it's right. Keep it simple now, living it before I die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same.
I think it has been a long time since I've done a good old-fashioned experiment with game streaming on YouTube and how it matches up to Twitch. And I suppose now on my birthday, it's probably a good time to try this again. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, streamed on Twitch for 2 hours earlier this evening, and it reminded me of Mixer. Nobody watched. The end. I say what I say about Twitch for a reason. So eventually there's going to be a Twitch version of what we're doing tonight over on this channel after the clearance and whatnot, but I'm thinking at this point that Twitch is so behind the 8 ball on things that it's not even worth it to play MMOs on Twitch anymore, and I should just go back to what I was going to do in the first place, and that is stream MMOs and things like that on here, and process everything afterwards in terms of the stream and how it works. So we have ESO going here, and we're over by, let's put the sound back on. We have ESO going here. We're checking out the new update for update 29, picking up where the last stream left off. And, let's see, Breton music is a little bit redundant here, so let's just turn that off. A nice, gorgeous day, but we all know how it goes. There will be rain at some point, because it always rains whenever I stream. No matter how good-looking the weather is, it never stays this way. So, Zenimax actually gave me a reason to finally start doing stuff with two-handers. Because there's a bonus in here, and we actually can get it now. Heavy weapons. Boom. Now we can finally test this for real. got my skill up to 27 in two-handed. So with a two-handed weapon equipped, a two-handed sword will increase your weapon and spell damage by 284. So it looks like stamina cost of abilities, don't really want to use those just yet. I do want to do a little bit of a cleave and stuff like that with this, because this character is primarily magical. So, being that I like to experiment with stuff, whether hardware or software, like I do with games like this, one of the things I want to do here is I want to see just how useful this spell damage boost is. You get some weapon damage out of the deal as well, but here I am now, thanks to this, this thing here, 3,800 spell damage unbuffed, versus, if I switch to... There we go. Yeah, change weapons here. Versus 3537 with a Resto Staff. Now, I do have some Destruction Staves that I can get the bonus on as well, but we have more spell power with a two-handed martial weapon than we do with an actual magical weapon. And what kind of a difference does that make in terms of light attacks? Let's compare that with one of the various imps around here that makes for great target practice. So, one scales off of magic and one scales off of stamina. So we're looking at the difference between 3,100 and 3,400. So, depends on the mob. I ran a dungeon earlier. Yeah, I ran a dungeon earlier and we tried this out. But rep paladins are now a thing in ESO. So get your two-handers out, because with the latest attempts... Get your two-handers out, ladies and gentlemen, because with the latest attempts to encourage more hybrid play, there is now a weapon and spell damage bonus for this. Oh, and by the way, YouTube has done in just a couple of minutes what Twitch couldn't do in 2 hours. Welcome! Oh, man. I tell you, you know, Twitch is only the sort of... It's almost like you want to go over and stream on Twitch in order to try and break the system. So, all right, let's get some music going. Let's play some of that stream beat stuff. We've got synthwave, we've got rock loaded as well, instrumentals and things like that. So, all right, once the drive spins up here. All right, that's on screen, right? So here's the idea. So we're testing this out. We also want to test out different types of builds as well. Maybe even a light armor with a two-hander at the rate we're going. There's been changes to all the armor. Changes to the armor that goes along with this new system. So I now have the maximum bonus for spell damage here. Let's look at dual wield as well, because there's something else in here too. So that's with weapon damage by 3% of offhand weapon damage. Stamina. Okay. I thought I saw something earlier for dual wielding as well that was weapon specific. I must have mixed it up with something else. How about bow? Damage bonus up to 6% against enemies at longer range. Get some crit when you have a bow equipped. It's interesting though, because crit has been combined together, so you could theoretically get spell crit from that and be like a Zen archer, if anybody remembers the D&D thing of that as well. Alright, but the real interesting thing here is two-handed. This little two-handed thing that's in here, I don't know if it's eventually going to get nerfed, but you do have... If you equip a two-handed sword, you have weapon and spell damage. You get like 300 weapon and spell damage from having a two-handed sword. And if you have a two-handed axe, you get 8% critical damage and healing. So, only maces remains the one and only martial weapon in this two-handed thing. Maces remains the one and only martial weapon that is 100% based on fighting that way, as opposed to there being crossover with magic stuff as well. So we're testing a couple of different things here. I want to see if YouTube has gotten any better at certain things that I know they're not good at when it comes to streaming. And at the very same time, I want to see how thumbnails work. We've been experimenting with no declared thumbnail and seeing the thumbnail eventually get generated from the stream. So I want to see if there's more of that with this sort of thing. Hey, you know what? We don't need to do stream beats on here either. This is going to be YouTube specific and it's never going to go to Twitch. So why don't we just add the YouTube audio library as well? So music, YTAL music. Why not just add... Yeah, how about we could add YTAL stuff as well if we really wanted to. Let's stick with Stream Beat Synthwave for now though. Keep in line with some of the stuff we're doing here. But yeah, you see someone actually stopped by. That didn't happen in 2 hours of streaming on Twitch. See here? You can also use single-handed nukes as well. So this is where it gets interesting, because I'm wondering what happens if I give a greatsword to a character who normally doesn't use them. Oh, this is nuts. Like, go light armor or something. If you wanted to have a Jedi in Elder Scrolls Online, you could now do so. 10 grand, non-crit with a two-hander. This is awesome. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Yeah, we'll do this like this then. We could use some more crafting stuff too, so 16 grand in mostly heavy armor with a two-hander. Well, it gave me a reason to want to use two-handers anyways. 10 grand. So, a lot of things there's free respecs and things like that as we try all of this out. But let's see. Am I about to get attacked again? Alright. Now, let's try something else here. Jump up on this wood pile and let's actually... It has its own music, so... Let's just stop right there and go into the new system as well. So one thing that has changed since the last stream is I now have some of these things slotted. That's because if you look at... Mostly the green tree has the most of this for me. The way this system works is you unlock the connecting stars by getting just one level, one layer, one stage as it's called, unlocked. So in this case, before I didn't have any green slotted, well now you can come in, more gold, then a minimum amount of gold and treasure chests and safe boxes, then Wanderer, Steadfast, and then take these right here. Now the remaining stuff can be put into something else. So the remaining points, I'm going to put into gold gain in this case. So let's put those in. Let's head over. I think we got some warfare points as well. What were we adding those into? Oh yeah, some extra magic, because there are some things that scale with the maximum amount of magic that you have, not necessarily your spell damage. And over in the red tree, we're just getting some more health for tanking and survivability, because we already have that thing for 300 magic per stage whenever you kill an enemy. That should help with soloing and keeping things going and stuff. So, let's see here. Alright. 15 grand. So the only thing here is that you lose some magic because you're not equipping a shield, but you gain spell damage instead. This is funny. Right. Ret paladins are finally a thing, and I suppose I could bring in some more skills and abilities too, but 92, 92, 92. Oh, I let one of the buffs drop off, that's why. The only thing I could add to this is if there's something that lowers the enemy's resistance. That would be very, very handy for something like this. Alright. Let's just have some fun with this, shall we? Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. People are gonna be like, why do you have a two-hander? Because there's a bonus for spells. 7,800. It gets better if you have more, you get more offensive pen with light armor, so it gets better if you're doing that. 16 grand. You gotta take this to some outdoor bosses. This is just off the charts. This is crazy. Do I have this one yet? No, I don't. Handy that. Let's see. Put on gamer mode so I don't accidentally pop open the start menu. Probably people farming this boss area too, so let's do this. Is anybody over here? Oh yeah, there's plenty of people. How do you die in a dolmen? Welcome to the game. Try and get some gear.
Save me! I need healing! Healer!
27 grand. If the intent was to encourage more hybrid builds, I think they succeeded. I think I have a reason to level two-handed on all my Bretons now. Got a fitness point out of the deal. What? Why is that character still dead? Must have been AFK.
Deep in dark nurture dance, I found Tribulation. Come forth and destroy.
Get the ads with the lance swing.
Wretched mortals. Worlds.
Well, some more loot to deconstruct. Now, where were we? Alright, so in terms of getting 40,000. Well, we have the full ability here. Two-handed 27. So how many more of these swords can we make? Oh, purples from Random World Drop. That's very, very different. 14 grand. You know, if I'm gonna have this much fun with this, I might as well flip the 2 and the 4 skills. So just use 2 for that. Just throw a dot to start the debuff on them, and then just do this. One, two, three. This guy's spec'd for magic as well. Look at all these people just zerging every... They have two-handers! That looks like an axe. So that guy's trying to spec for crit. The fun part is it goes to critical healing as well. So, yeah, I mean, gives you less excuse to be any kind of secondary healer or something like that. What if we had like a sorcerer with a great sword? Isn't that some kind of anime thing or something? Yeah, haven't I seen that? I think that's something I've seen with regards to anime. Some sorcerer with a greatsword. Unless they just want to be like Cloud in Final Fantasy VII or something. Yeah, this is crazy. There isn't the same thing though for dual wield, but dual wield has always been incredibly popular for this kind of thing. So to get a knightly two-hander person in here with some kind of plus spell damage, what we could do, go back to the castle. Let's head back to the... We can just teleport there with the map, too. Let's go back to the castle here. Inside. So there's a little bit of nebulousness with some of this. Sometimes the spell power will apply to damage, sometimes it applies to heals. What do we have with something like this? I want to check a few things here. Alright, let's keep an eye on the channel. I want to see if YouTube generates a thumbnail, or if once you set up your thumbnail, does it stay that way? Yeah, so do you set up your thumbnail? Once you set up your thumbnail, does it stay that way? That's what I want to see. Right, we're going to keep an eye on that, because that's one of the things I want to keep an eye on with this sort of thing is the whole thumbnail situation. Why don't we head on down to this patio that desperately needs some stuff here. Get some furniture out here and some more rugs. Alright, so out here, what kind of numbers do we get for the main heal? 19, 6, 13, I think that was a crit. So 13-1. 13-1 non-crit. Unequip the greatsword and lose the bonus. So 13-1's the number here. 10-1. So the spell power that you get from a two-handed greatsword also applies to your healing. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, the spell power you get applies to your healing. Greatsword Twilight's Embrace doesn't give me any extra magic, just gives me some extra physical and spell pen. It only procs the enchant on a successful swing. But yeah, the spell damage 13-1, 19-6, 13-1. The spell damage actually helps with healing as well. Nice. Oh, we gotta head outside and have some fun now. So yeah, the spell damage that you get from a two-hander helps with healing. So technically this is a healing sword as well. Rep Paladin Healer. Show up with this sword, get some offensive capabilities, and it gets some more regen when you switch over to this. That's what I'm talking about. Let's head on out. Let's keep leveling this thing then. Alright, let's keep an eye also on this as well. I want to keep an eye on the YouTube status of everything. Okay, good. We'll keep an eye on all of these tabs. So that'll be 3 tabs in addition to this. I'm going to add this to... Come on, browser. There's 3 tabs I want to keep an eye on. I want to keep an eye on the thumbnail, and I want to keep an eye on the status of the stream. Alright, let's do this. Right, let's see here. That's the thing, though. Other than applying the dot, there's the... Yeah, one of the sorcery buffs actually applies the minute you use something from Dawn's Wrath. So let's do something along those lines. So where do we have some areas where we still have to explore, do some other stuff? We have that dungeon not done there. Most of the outdoor world we have a lot of progress in. Not so much around here. Probably some delves too. We could always get some more delves done. Good way to test this out and get some skill points is go around, check all the delves in the various zones. So this we have one delve we have not completed. Where is that? I don't even have it discovered on the map. It's weird because I've completed the story. 5 out of 6 for this one. This one right here. Dwarven Ruin, that's why. Let's go there. Whatever it takes to get more points for this. Plus we can start making two-handers for the other casters. I'm actually curious what light-handed with a two-hander is like now. If you get a free 300 spell damage when you max everything out, gives me a reason to level two-handed on my caster characters. Just have to make the two-hander look a little bit more thematically fitting for them. So maybe make it look more like a katana or something. This isn't at 30 FPS, is it? Okay, good. No, it's available. It's available at 60 for people that have it supported.
Kira, are you all right? Don't expect me to come down there.
Whatever.
You know I can't stand small spaces.
We never finished this one. Let's go in and get something in here. A two-hander helping with magic. You don't see that every day. And it helps with your healing as well. Alright, is there a quest in here? Dungeon blah, da da da. Can't wait to write almost everything about da da da, things like that. Da 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 da, there we go. What? How come there was no damage number? There we go. That thing got absorbed. It's interesting, though, using this ability for a dot instead of an AoE attack. Applying the dot was actually part of what you're supposed to do with it anyways. Dwarf Ruins. Alright, so the boss of this thing, we have to go all the way through it, I'm guessing. Alright, so let's switch that back then to 4 after the fight. This is a gauntlet. We gotta find where that is. Do enough damage. Do enough damage to stop the dwarf spiders from coming out of there. This one. The next thing we gotta take a look at is how does this fare versus Destruction Staves? The Destro Stave, how does that work? Right, so Destro Staves. So, the thing with the Destro Stave, though, is that instead of boosting your spell damage, it has plus bonuses for it. So, fully charged, heavy attacks deal 6% additional damage. We might as well get this ready, because I know I have Destro Staves available. Let's see here. I don't use any abilities, though, so we can skip that one. Elemental status effects by 50%. Ancient knowledge is the big one here. So, single target abilities go up 8% with an Inferno Staff. And this is one of those things that locks down the whole Greatsword spell damage boost as a hybrid thing. Because if you really want to crank your damage really high as a caster, you will use a Destruction Staff. Because you're talking, instead of 300 spell damage, you're talking, boom, 8% plus what's in the warfare tree out there. Plus what's in, I would say, the right side of the tree. That's basically what it is. The caster hand over here. So you have these that you can slot, plus Destruction Staff cranks that even higher. So if you want to be a wizard, you'll do really well. In a sense, it almost seems like the spell damage that you get from a two-hander is a consolation prize for playing a hybrid. Makes me wonder what it'd be like to have like a Dark Elf running this or something. There we go. What, this guy pull half the dungeon with him? Oh yeah, bow builds. Well, bows are one of the things targeted for nerfs. Let's do this here. Two-hander. Where's the boss? So yeah, things hit harder with the sword than with the Resto Staff. I'm sure Destro Staff is wilder than this, though. Guardian. Is that the boss? It's definitely a lawnmower of a boss. Yep, that was the boss. Good. Gets us up to speed on this. Rothgar, Master Delver. Nice. But did we get any points for that? Nope. Still trying to level two-hander here. 27.
This is an amazing example. Well, this is a strange place to see a familiar face, but it's a pleasant surprise as well. Did you fall down that hole too? What I always do, I'm exploring. I'm kind of an expert dungeon delver, sort of. My brother and I answered the king's summons, and here we are, cataloguing another dwarven ruin. Hey, where is my brother? Is he still afraid of the mechanical spiders? Now that you mention it, I was hoping to collect a dwarven power core, but the only one I saw was protected by a Zething Guardian. If you could get the core, I'd appreciate it. Raynor loves those things, uses them to build all kinds of devices. I could have saved you a lot of trouble if I brought my brother's radial component extractor with me. But what can I say? I'm spontaneous. I'll finish up here and meet you by the main entrance after you get the power core.
Yeah, and the power core is right up by that boss, so we basically have to repeat the whole darn dungeon. Or what if we just did this? I thought that would be a way out, though. Nope, this is back up top. Alright, we'll just take out the boss again and get like 2 gold or something. Since there's since there's anti-farm stuff in here. Not to be, what's that? I just remember when I first started playing this game when it had a huge bot problem and people just sit here waiting for the boss to spawn over and over again. Take that. Return to Raynor. In other words, at the entrance of the dungeon. What? Two-handed to 28. It was like I think it was 14 when I first started. So, do we still have any experience boosts? Increase all primary stats. No, we do not. Banker! One of the fun things about this new setup is that these experience scrolls are now useful to max level characters again, since there are far more. We'll use these up now. How about these too? Do something like this. Whirring Dynamo. Oh, something you can sell to a merchant for gold. Alright, let's set that up. Hey, where is that? I just picked that up. I think did I deposit it by mistake instead of withdrawing? No, I didn't. There they are. 150% experience point bonuses. We'll use those first to get as many points as possible. Because we absolutely should be getting a lot more points. And there's more of a use for these things besides leveling characters now.
Tells me you found her. She needed a power core.
So we got that delve out of the way, which finishes the delves in Hrothgar. We should find the missing delve in Rivenspire. Where exactly is the one that I'm missing? Okay, there's that. Well, the weather's certainly staying sunnier than it has been. Interesting. So TAA and some of the graphical improvements of this game are really pushing it into the territory of Skyrim Special Edition in terms of the looks. Good, it's about time something like this came into existence. Alright, what's this? Frozen Fleet? This is something I haven't completed yet, so if there's any quests out here, let's get them done. Okay.
Where could she be? Where could she be? My wife. She's out there somewhere. On the ice. She could be injured. Dying. Or worse, those hideous little creatures might have gotten her. was a disaster. We were on our way to Orsinium, my wife and I. She's Lady Sovel, ambassador to the High King. She was coming to negotiate a trade agreement. The ships went off course, crashed in the storm. Now Sovel is missing. You want to discuss geography? Now? My wife is missing! We need to find Lady Sovel. She was helping people off one of the wrecks, the other survivors. Captain Henriza won't risk any more sailors, but perhaps you could search the ice for me? High King Emmerich relies upon my dear Sovel. If she were here, she'd know what to do. My Lady Sovel. If it will help, I'll tell you whatever you'd like to know. High King Emmerich sent her to negotiate a lucrative trade agreement with Orsinium. But it's probably too late for that now. What else would you like to know? It was powerful. Practically a blizzard. I think it blew us off course, but who am I to judge such things? I'm not a sailor and terrible with directions. Sovel says I'd get lost on my own estate if not for all the servants. I'm not sure how these negotiations work. It's really more of Sovel's area of expertise. But without her, I don't know who can deal with Orsinium. We did have an orc with us. Skordo. Sovel thought well of him. But you know how orcs can be.
Oh, it took a while, but it looks like Discord is supporting... Yeah. Took a while for this to register, but maybe it's only if you're doing game streaming. Discord is registering that I'm streaming right now. Nice. That's what I was looking for. And so let's see how many of people's Discords have me down as being live right now. Ah. Let's see. Depends on the Discord from the looks of it. Yeah, so I'm only listed as playing ESO in some of them. Interesting. So it only works, it only somewhat works. Now it says, oh, okay. What else? I hit the stream button. Your stream starting, have your friends grab a seat. No. Cancel. I don't want to stream on both YouTube and Discord at the same time. So it looks like it's changed my status. Yeah, it changed up my status with that.
The last time I saw my wife. Right after we hit
the support of YouTube streaming and Discord is flaky at best. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sent me ashore with the first group of survivors. She stayed behind to help, just like she always does. Please find her.
Alright, let's do this.
I saw you talking to that milksop, Ethian. He's nothing like his father, nothing at all. But I don't have time for his belly aching. I need to make sure we don't lose any more people to the cold and the ice. I am. Although I'm not sure that means much now that my vessels are smashed upon the ice. Is there something you want? Or are you just here to remind me of my failures? Off course? What do you know of navigation and seamanship? I'm paid to make port as fast and as safely as possible. I've sailed this coastal sea lane before, not that it's any of your business. If not for the storm, we'd be in Orsinium by now. We rescued Ethian, what more do you want? Haven't I lost enough sailors already? The ambassador's gone, probably drowned or crushed on the ice. I have a duty to the survivors here. Besides, we never should have come to this land in the first place. On the quarterdeck, during the storm? She was helping one of those green-skinned savages she loved so well. Who can say, though, I was trying to avoid an iceberg at the time.
So what kind of music do they have for Rothgar here? Yeah, it sounds Elder Scrollsy. Search the wrecks for survivors. Where are... Oh, they're up there. Well, that's convenient. that's how it works with these ice worms. I think that's how it was in Skyrim, too. Let's see here. Ah, one of those is a Nightblade. Has that annoying ability. Goblins. Yeah, that explains a few things.
You don't look familiar. Which of the ships were you sailing on when we hit the ice? I'm the first mate of the flagship, Matir's Fortune. I came down here to secure the hatches when I saw the ambassador's bodyguard. Then I hit my head. I don't remember anything after that. Now that you mention it, I thought something was wrong. I never sailed with Captain Henriza before, and I never sailed this part of the sea, so I could have been mistaken. I tried to reach the captain, but that's when we ran into the blizzard. I wouldn't want to disparage the captain. She works for Lord Ethian's father, and most of the ships belong to him. Because of the ambassador's mission, they wanted to make an impression. Nobles. I'll go check on Lord Ethian. He's a nervous sort.
Just a tad. That's what that is. Warhorn. And it starts a gauntlet. Not too much of a gauntlet, though. Alright.
Anyone out there? Anyone that's not a reeker, that is? I can use a hand.
What do we have up here?
Anyone out there? Anyone that's not a reeker, that is? I could use a hand.
Can you move some of these damn crates? I'm stuck! Damn furniture tore up my sword arm. I'm practically useless.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy.
Stupid ship started collapsing around me. Figured I was gonna sink before I got out from under this mess. Sure, I enjoy being crushed under rubble as I slowly sink into icy water. What kind of question is that? And just who in oblivion are you? I had a feeling I'd be seeing you again. You do have a habit of wandering into the most disastrous situations. Cold Harbor. I'd prefer to forget about that dismal place. I lost a lot of good friends there. A lot. Poor Darien. Do you remember Darien? He was a good man. Let's talk about something less depressing. How should I know? This may shock you, but I'm not much of a keep-in-touch person. Honestly, I picked up my rucksack and walked not long after you left. Things probably settled down, but I doubt we got all the vampires. Creepy bastards. He did he? Last time I saw that spineless skeever, him and Chorus the Mage were walking away. They left me under here to die. I heard them talking about the captain and the ambassador as they left. Hard to believe, but not every Breton likes that High King Emmerich made peace with the orcs. They call us savages, and they want Lady Sovel's mission to fail. Captain Henriza wasn't shy about telling the ambassador just what she thought about orcs. He's one of Captain Henriza's lackeys, a shifty-eyed mage who was always skulking around. Didn't like him. Look, help me out. I don't think I can swing a sword right now, but I need to make sure the ambassador is all right.
Alright, where are we going to find this ambassador here?
I won't be much use in a fight, so I'll follow you. I suggest checking out more of the wrecks. Or maybe she headed for that tower over there.
$16-2. I really think we should compare... Yeah, we gotta compare this to Destro Fire Staff. I gotta see who had a Fire Staff. Because I know I've had them. Of course, we know that Destro Fire Staff is only going to help with damaging abilities. We already know that the two-handed sword boosts healing as well. So, what do we have here? I only have the ice staff here, but where's the banker?
Hello there.
Let's call the banker. What do we have here again? Someone else has him. Probably Lauren. She was the grand experiment with Destro Staves. Why don't we put something in here as well? That won't be such a big issue if we accidentally activate it without blowing potions or anything like that. So let's do mementos. Something that it doesn't matter if... Almalexia's Enchanted Lantern would be a good thing for that.
Find my dearest Sovel. Please tell me she's all right. Have you found my wife yet? Please tell me that you know where Sovel is. Where could she be? And why did she have to stay on the ship? She cares for everyone else but refuses to safeguard herself. Scordo, you were supposed to protect her! Impossible! The captain works for my father. She would never harm my wife. Wait! We saw the captain head toward the signal tower. If that's where Sovel is, then I have to go there too.
Damn milksop is gonna get himself killed. Go after him. I'm in no condition to keep anyone safe.
So the surround sound is fixed, otherwise it would have cut out like last time.
My father will pay you!
I really dislike meddlesome interlopers.
Tusks of the Orc Father, new lead for antiquarianism.
Help! I'm on top of the tower!
Well, nuts. Just charge this one.
Sovel, she's not here. And I think maybe that mage tried to kill me. Maybe he was trying to kill you. What? How dare you insinuate such a thing? I would never! I'm as at a loss as to where Sovel is as you are. My father promised we would go off course just long enough for Sovel to miss her meeting. She wasn't supposed to be harmed. We were just... It was supposed to... The captain has worked for my father for years. Father? You just can't say no to him. He said that the captain would take care of everything. But, gods, what have I done? Sovel will never forgive me.
Why'd that sound, though, sound like he was inside something? He was clearly on top the whole time. A little bit of an issue with the sound engineering. Let's see what we have here.
There you are. Scordo found something. While you were up in the signal tower, Scordo did some scouting, and he thinks he figured out where Captain Henriza disappeared to. He went to see if the ambassador was there as well. Just down the path here, he found what looks to be an old smuggler's bolt hole in the rocks. Scordo sent me back so I could tell you all about it. He's waiting for you over there. I'll head back to camp. I need to check on the survivors.
Let's do a checkup on YouTube. Refresh everything and see what's going on here. It looks like when you declare a thumbnail, it stays locked. But if you don't declare a thumbnail, then it generates it from the stream. That's something that we looked at a while back. Some of the stuff that was going on earlier. Interesting.
See that cave? That's an old smuggler's hole. I bet my last gold piece that Captain Henriza is in there. Maybe the ambassador. Nothing really, just a gut feeling. I learned a long time ago not to ignore my gut in situations like this. Besides, I saw one of Henriza's lackeys sneak in there trying to be all stealthy. I'm sure that's where Lady Sovel is. Why would you want to reason with someone like that? Do you reason with an angry Wamasu when it's trying to eat your face? No, you... Oh, ogre dung. What's that fool Ethian up to now?
I know you're in there, Henriza! Where's my wife?
Run back to your father, you pathetic little man.
Free my wife at once, you villain!
I'm going to do your father a favor.
She stabbed me!
What? What even is this whole story?
A bit faint.
I did not see that coming. Go after Henriza. I'll see what I can do for Lord Ethian.
What even is this story?
High King Emmerich will hear of this, you blackguard.
I knew you were nothing but a filthy orc lover. I should have gutted you the moment you entered our camp.
So some of the revamps to the spells are there to help with weaving and stuff.
If you could untie me, I would greatly appreciate it. And would you know if my husband is safe? He's Lord Ethian, and I made sure he got off the wrecked ship with a few of the crew and passengers. Ethian? My husband? Tried to stand up to Captain Henriza. I never expected him to do such a thing. Ugh. Why didn't he stay with the rescued crew? He was never good in a crisis. Tell me, how bad was he injured?
Oh boy.
This is all Ethian's father's fault. What a vile man his father is. Ethian never could say no to him. And Henriza was eager to tell me all about it after she captured me. If Ethian dies because of this, I'll find a way to make his father pay. Thank you. I should go see my husband. My poor Ethian. He wasn't a brave man, but he tried to stand up against that vile Henrisa. He did, didn't he? Thank you. Now, I have a job to do. I'll mourn Ethian after I have fulfilled my obligation to High King Emmerich. I'll send Scordo ahead to Orsinium to let them know we are on our way. Perhaps we'll see you there. The orcs will negotiate with me. There's still time to salvage my mission and make sure Ethian's father lives to regret what he set in motion. But thank you. Without your timely assistance, more innocents would have been lost. No, my friend. You've done more than enough. The rest is up to Scordo and me. I knew Baron Matir was a despicable man, but to force his son into this treasonous scheme? I never could quite free Ethian from his father's influence, though. Is it? Ours was an arranged marriage. I suspect that when his father learned of my true political feelings, he was extremely disappointed. Still, Ethian had a good heart, and we got along well. At least we did when his father wasn't interfering. Ethian's father hoped to deal with two problems at the same time. My marriage to his son, and Emmerich's treaty with the orcs. But his scheme led to his own son's death, and he'll answer for that. I plan to tell High King Emmerich everything. I need to focus first on Emmerich's treaty before I can allow myself the luxury of regret. Scordo, I will need you to get to Orsinium as soon as possible.
I need to go. The ambassador wants me to run to Orsinium and let them know she's on her way. They'll negotiate with her, or they'll have me to answer to. They owe her that much after all this trouble.
The orcs will negotiate with me. There's still time to salvage my mission and make sure Ethian's father lives to regret what he set in motion. But thank you. Without your timely assistance, more innocents would have been lost. No, my friend. You've done more than enough. The rest is up to Scordo and me. I knew Baron Matir was a despicable man, but to force his son into this treasonous scheme? I never could quite free Ethian from his father's influence, though. My heart told me that, but it's good to hear you confirm it. His father, always scheming. He wanted my mission to fail, even if he had to have me killed to accomplish that. But Emmerich needs this treaty. I need to focus first on Emmerich's treaty before I can allow myself the luxury of regret. Scordo, I will need you to get to Orsinium as soon as possible.
It's crazy, you know, this area does have the feel of Skyrim, but it's Orsinium. It's the homeland of the orcs, the Rothgar Mountains. Maybe we were just razzle-dazzled that there was something with a lot of snow in it. Right, so what am I doing here? No need for that. There's one delve in Rivenspire that I'm still missing. Where exactly would that be? Did I manage? Right there. The Hoarfrost Downs and take a break. We're out for time. About an hour in. Yeah, well, let's take one of those recommended stretch breaks and stuff. get back to this. We can knock out 2 zones with all the delves and see if we can get some more points in two-handed. Well, let's get up and stretch for a bit, shall we? Alright, save that song for some other time. Alright, let's see what we got here. Do a checkup on YouTube. YouTube is not generating a thumbnail because I declared one at the start of the stream. And the other thing I'm keeping an eye on is working better than before. Good. That teaches me a few things about some of this and some of the progress that YouTube has made with regards to this stuff. Alright, there's one more delve to finish off here as we continue our experiment with two-handers as a caster, because Zenimax decided to put in that perk that adds spell damage to two-handed swords and plus crit both damage and healing to two-handed axes. The attempts to nudge players in the direction of playing hybrids is really something. So, let's see, the delve we're looking for is this one, Tribulation Crypt. Let's go over there and do some stuff. Tribulation Crypt.
Sorry, sir, I tried.
This part of the world is known for vampires. So let's see what we have here. Bring the light to Den of Vampires? Why not? This in here, etc., etc. Go into here. Alright, let's do this. Tribulation Crypt. So what we're looking to do here is see if we can hit 30 in two-handed from clearing this delve. Could go help some groups out as well. Last time, though, I had some Zerg with no heals and dual wield who kept getting taken out by trash mobs and slowing down the group, so I don't know if I want to carry any more people like that who, I mean, ESO is not the hardest game in the world to figure out. I've already completed the quest in here, but I've never taken down the boss. Interesting. Also very important to realize is that the base health, magic, stamina has been buffed as well. So, everybody's more of a hybrid now. Whatever you were... Cheater! Get out of there! Darn mobs. So everybody can do more now. It's just part of the never-ending tug of war that has existed between this game being based on Elder Scrolls stuff, which emphasizes player freedom, and players being able to do whatever they want, and being an MMO that has to stay balanced. Now let's just pull a couple more, and then let's line of sight them over here. Come on, everyone, gather around. See ya. Yeah, of course. Wiping out wide swaths of the undead. Why not? Previously, I was looking at shocking and stuff, but now this is crazy. We also did some testing in the castle. The the weapon damage you get from a the spell damage you get from a two-handed sword, 284, applies to healing as well. One of the things we should probably do is compare it to Destro Staff. I think Destro will still give higher numbers, but for people playing hybrids, two-hand is where it's at. What was that? Ruby Ash. Ice Staff of Shock. Demonetized. Check-up time! That would count as light profanity, though, so... Nope. That's another thing we're testing tonight. I want to see if YouTube is iterating on their systems for live streams. The last time I tried doing anything with stream monetization, there was basically 2017 all over again, where you could breathe wrong and get a yellow dollar sign. So it's been a couple of months. Let's see how they do. This here. Alright, where's the boss? Up here? Why do I feel like oh, we're camping the boss. We were camping the boss. Whoops. No. Stop healing everybody and... Are they just sitting there farming the boss like a bunch of bots back in the day? That's not how it works. Either way, I had the wrong weapon equipped, so now I'm probably going to get a point. Probably not going to get the point in the right stuff. 1 fitness point. Wait, what? Did these people not realize that farming bosses was heavily nerfed? Ah! No, I have not done this yet on this character. I've done this on alts. That's why. Will we take this to a town? Let's take this to a town and let's turn it in. Alright, let's get out of here. Flashback to some Oblivion dungeons. Already know it, we'll just sell it. Let's get out of here. Find a Stenric descendant. There is one in town, I've already been there before. That is in Shornhelm. Let's head over there. So that finishes up the delves in Rivenspire and Rothgar. We'll see what other delves we can finish up. What's this? Thieves' Trove? Nah, not worth it. Yeah, whatever, skeevers. Where is this guy?
I'm sorry, sir. I tried, but no one here is willing to enlist.
West.
Hello, friend. Do you need directions to the inn? Well, your journey has been successful. Stenrick blood certainly runs through my veins. Marcel Stenrick? Well, that was my great-grandmother's name. Is that really her sword? I grew up listening to stories of Dame Marcel's exploits. She was quite the warrior, if you believe the tales. This is amazing! Our family used to be much more prominent back in my great-grandmother's day. Maybe her sword will turn our fortunes around. Maybe. Anyway, thank you so much for bringing this to me. I'll always treasure Dame Marcel's sword. Perhaps it will encourage me to take up a life of honor and adventure. Just what my parents told me. I never met my great-grandmother. Dame Marcel was an honored knight in the service of House Dorel. I remember one story set during the time of the great feud between the Tamriths and the Dorels. In the story, Dorel's son Lanciot was kidnapped on the road to North Point by a dozen of Tamrith's most ruthless warriors. Despite the odds, Dame Marcel never hesitated. She swooped in with this very sword and rescued Lanciot. I love that story.
So that's that. Didn't get us any points, though. It's weird, because I have the experience scroll and everything. We need to get a bunch more experience to get that.
What is it?
No, the Way Shrine is up there. Is that... That must be... That must be something with regards to thief characters, keep them from riding out of town. I was wondering if that was a glitch in Daggerfall, but it looks like it happens here, too. Where once you go through the city gates, you automatically get dismounted. Interesting setup. That's 2 zones with all the delves complete. What's the next closest one? Do we want to do anything with that? Let's see this here. Haven't hardly done anything in Western Skyrim. Plenty of things to do in terms of... So, there's a couple of things I have to figure out. One of them, of course, is... We can go back to the castle, then. This is the longest that I've been able to stream without it starting to rain. It'll probably rain the minute I go back to Daggerfall, though. So, we need to know, for equipping Lauren with a two-handed sword, how do we make something that looks like a katana or something? So, she does more plainclothes type stuff. It would have to look a little more rustic rather than knightly. Probably Dark Elf style or something. There's probably some interesting style that I could use for that. Plus, I want to know what kind of stats it should have. But yeah, two-handers. I just want to compare two-handers to Destruction Staves. I'm sure Destruction Staves do a lot better. So I can probably... It just depends on what staff you have equipped. Whether it's single target or something else. So, it's not in the bank. I'm curious who had all the extra staves. Plus, Lauren's build needs to be set up anyways. We'll do that and take care of that as well. Be interesting giving her, of all people, a two-handed weapon. She's been a caster the entire game. She's been a caster the entire game. So, a two-handed sword is going to be something else altogether. We probably should see if we can get something like a Dai Katana or something. Alright, let's check up on YouTube again. YouTube is sticking to the original thumbnail, so I declared one, so it's staying with it. Okay. So, I think I want to not declare thumbnails until I convert streams into videos, because I want something from the most recent, something recently to show up here. Why don't we actually, can we do that while the stream is live? So let's take the thumbnail and change. Now we can't clear it once we've set it. Download? Well, that lets me download the image again. Nuts. So yeah, YouTube needs to figure this out for YouTube streaming. Crown Mimic Stones, we'll take those. Alright, so question number 1, does she have the extra weapons? She only has a lightning staff, though. Probably because she's equipping an Inferno staff, right? Yep. So we'd want to create Init Axiom. So back to the castle with no weapon. So it's an Init Axiom, so we got to go out to the Clockwork City for that. So back to the castle. Yeah, so two-handed in at Axiom, which means Clockwork City. So we'll do the DPS tests while we're out there. Put these in the bank, go talk to the banker, throw everything in the safe deposit and go get it. Defaulted to weapons. I don't know if I'll be able to upgrade it past purple, though. It's just crazy the way I have everything set up with these characters. Now, let's see here. I'm telling you right now, Destro Staff is going to hit harder. Fire Staff will probably hit harder. Fire Staff is probably going to hit harder. We should go test it on imps. There's plenty of them, so... Change secondary weapon to Fire Staff. Hey, wait, did I even talk to the banker? Yeah, we'll head out of the castle and head down and try it out. See what kind of crits we can get using similar skills.
How can I help you?
Yeah, I forgot to put everything in the bank. What a stupid reason to need to do this. I should see if running the game off the SSD, the M2 SSD, helps with things a bit. I gotta think about that, though. It gets me thinking about what I should do in terms of my next motherboard. Make sure to have extra M2 slots, so you can have super fast games running off M2 SSDs when the technology becomes more cost effective, just like regular SSDs did. Alright, let's try this again.
Hello there.
Actually talk to the banker. Weapons. Inferno Lightning goes in the bank. Mulligan. We already have the boosts. Zenimax, your game has been out for how many years, and you still have problems with this? Why? Alright, let's compare these. Don't try to steal from the banker.
Speak with me a moment.
Alright. Probably don't need the lightning staff. It is sharpened, so it is a DPS staff. Alright, let's compare. Let's go try some imps here. Two-hander versus destruction staff. I'm sure the destruction staff is going to hit harder. Not a doubt in my mind. Let's go imp hunting. It's a nice day for it. Although it's, what is that? The west? Sun's going down. Alright, so 16,105. Just make sure we're not missing the food buff. It's easier to miss that now that the base of, I think, both magic and stamina is 12,000. Higher for Bretons on the magic side, of course. Alright. Two-handed sword. How high do the numbers get? 15-5, 16-2. There's plenty of imps to go around, so plenty of target practice. We have both magic, major and minor sorcery buffs. 10-1, 10-1. That's 10-1 non-crit. Let's do Destro Staff. 10-6 non-crit. Yeah, it's like I said. The caster weapon will always have a bonus. Plus, you can also do this with it. You can also do light and heavy attacks. You're talking the difference between that crit, 3-9 versus 3 similar. So it is kind of a pro-hybrid move for people. 15-5. $10, $10, $10, 16-2. 16-2. I'm guessing we get close to the 16-5 here. $10-6, $10-6. Why are there no crits? 10-6, 10-6, 10-6. So I don't like building characters off of RNG. 10-6, 10-6, 10-6. 0 crits with the stronger weapon. I want to see how much stronger. He got up to 16-2 before. 10-6, 17. Okay, there we go. So that's the difference between caster and hybrid. There is a hybrid tax being introduced, despite this weapon giving you more spell damage. It is kind of cool, though. It is kind of cool that they're close together like this. Alright. $16-2. Right, in an Axiom Greatsword. For that, we have to head off to the Clockwork City. Yeah, 1,000 damage on a crit. That's a significant enough difference that there's still an edge when it comes to Destro Staff. Destro Staff is still the strongest, plus your light and heavy attacks can be ranged, just like the rest of your spells. So let's go to Clockwork City. In at Axiom is there. We'll set that up. I don't know how much we're going to be able to improve this, though, but I want to make it look like a katana as much as possible. Otherwise, just transmog it. So, transmog. Let's do some experiments here. Clockwork City. All right. Set a few things here. Let's do a little Twitch style experiment. Alright, crafting station's down at the bottom of the cliffs. Do you want to take the shortcut and use this soul gem, or do we just want to go down the regular way? Well, we're a healer. Oh, some stuff to collect on the way down. That's pretty cool then. Two-handers contributing to stuff like this. Almost lemminged. Alright, craft station's over there. One point in crafting. Right as I'm heading up to a craft station. Not bad, actually. Not bad at all, if I do say so myself. Alright, we need to make a great sword, so let's go over to the forge. Ooh, yeah, don't decon the legendaries. Yeah. That's the add-on that's not working right. So no purples, don't do anything with purples or legendaries. Those are all tagged as being in parts of gear sets. What happens if I lock that? Oh, wait a minute! This add-on lets me do that, so I can't actually... Oh, so it doesn't matter anymore. So Alpha Gear lets you hide gear so you can't sell it or decon it. Nice! Well, that solves the issue there. That solves the big issue that I've been having, because the Item Saver add-on, we can uninstall it now.
I can do for you?
I'm gonna go through my add-ons, I'm gonna audit them, remove things like Item Saver and stuff like that, because Item Saver is redundant to Alpha Gear, because with Alpha Gear you can lock stuff, as I just did there. So if I go to, like, this, yeah, see, unlock, unlock. So if I see the wrong thing show up, I just right-click, lock. And that's how you keep it from getting destroyed. Can you...
Care to bargain?
And it stops you from selling it, right? Shield of Twilight's Embrace. Lock. Gone. Nice. Alright, let's make this sword here. We want a great sword, and we want it to... Nuzuma, come on! Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so we want to make a great sword. Champion 160. Pick a style that doesn't look too much. Pick a style, I mean... Dark Elf. Pick a style, I want to pick a style that looks like a katana. Khajiit. Don't want it to look too much, don't want it to look too much like a Western sword. Daedric. We want this to be something that has sharpened as its trait. Make a Daedric sword. Got plenty of style materials here. Psijic Order. A Nequina. Oh, that looks nice. We could probably transmog it to something else, too. Alright, so let's go with... Should we go with the Red Guard? Red Guard looks more like a giant scimitar. Let's have some fun. Let's go Daedric. I wanted this thing to look rustic, and this is one way to do that. $160 sharpened. How much can we improve this thing? Can make an epic out of it. Let's enchant it for magic as well. Back to the castle. That's Lauren's sword right there. Nice. We should keep the extra weapons available too and toss them in and out of the bank as needed, now that we have the stuff we need for this. Travel inside. Okay, so So YouTube doesn't have the problem that Twitch has. What if I mute this? I'm testing to see what the situation is with YouTube with regards to this stuff. How does YouTube stack up to Twitch? Now, I'm liking what I see so far. People have actually shown up to this stream, whereas 2 hours of nothing on Twitch. We just see something here. Toss this in the bank. This is a nice chill game to relax to. I'm tempted to just put this in relax mode and do like streams of make this game more relaxing. Turn down the combat sound effects and make it sound a lot nicer. We do want to be able to... We want to enchant this sword, though, with plus magic to it. And I really don't think it's that bad of a deal. Oh, it's matching my current appearance that I have it set to, so... Interesting. Well, let's put a... Let's put an enchantment on it for plus magic. I don't know if you can put plus spell damage on a weapon. I think it's only jewelry. Kuda. Let's see. Mako. Itade. Champion 160.
Itade. Mako. Kuta.
Okay, let's see here. Nope, YouTube does not have the same issue that Twitch does with that thing. Good. Let's close that out. Let's also keep an eye on the status in the system to see if YouTube's friendlier to game streams than they were before. So we only need one of those open. Set to live. Yeah, it is friendlier. YouTube Gaming making some pretty serious progress with this. Alright, let's do this. Sword of Twilight's Embrace. Great Sword of Twilight's Embrace. Now I want to enchant this one. Since we don't need that add-on anymore, we can get rid of it and its dependencies. That's what was crashing the game earlier. I would have it lock up and have to keep reloading the UI because of the item saver that isn't being updated. Alpha Gear was updated first, so... Gotta get those together. Just don't want to decon any gear by mistake, although anything that's in a gear set will show up with a little yellow dot next to it. Okay, that. Lock. Init Axiom. Lock. Resto. Lock. The other stuff is fair game. Learning more about my own add-ons here. Good, I want to get some more tempers from this. Fort Brass. Get some more materials this way. I don't use a lot of medium armor, so... Decon all. Smithy. Lock. That's one of my weapons. Alright. Actually, it's the weapon I've been experimenting with. Alright, the Init Axiom Greatsword goes in the bank. Let's do this.
May I be of service?
We'll check Discord status as well. Testing that as well to see how that works. It only says I'm playing ESO. It doesn't say that I'm streaming it. I gotta look up how to integrate streaming, YouTube streaming a little better here. So not so good on the Discord stuff. Of course, I don't know how many people will watch someone stream straight from Discord anyways. So let's see. Stuff to go in the that stuff to go in the bank there. The Ice Staff, we don't have a setup for Ice Staff tanking yet. So it would be a bit of an issue. We don't get the extra resistance yet from... That's really a problem now, isn't it? You're kind of stuck with stamina gear. You have a mitigation issue with this, unless you put in a defending staff, which gives you an extra 3,200 resistance. You have to actually make tough stuff on purpose here. Alright, so let's put the sword in the bank. That'll be her new weapon. Because people wearing light armor can use two-handed swords. Oh, this is going to be hilarious. But we'll mess with the transmog and everything. Two-handed sword. She wears more light armor, so she has more caster regen. And she has more casting regen as well as spell penetration. We got to redo the build too to reflect what we've learned about the new talent system. That you can take the first stage in a star in the constellations and get benefits from that. All right, let's do this. All right, let's get the sword out here.
With me a moment.
Have some fun here. Hit Axiom Ice Staff. Let's lock that. Oh, that looks pretty sinister. A little too sinister. Of course, we can always transmog it to something else. And we can actually transmog it to different weapon types, too, if I remember right. Outfit station. So let's just go here and let's pick something. Yeah, see, two-handed. We can just do two-handed mace if we really wanted to. Make it look like a hammer. Or a maul or something. You just can't turn it into a staff. That's the issue, because staves are considered separate kinds of weapons. Interesting. Now we can do axes, hammers, and swords. See here. And we can just do an Equina for $3,000. Sapiarch. Yeah, make this look really cool here. She doesn't have the money for it. We have to take some stuff out of the bank to get that. Mace. That's the thing, too. I mean, I've got a two-handed sword equipped, but I can make it look like something else. I can also equip a two-handed axe for more crit and make it look like something else. Redguard Maul. That's just the era of the two-hander has arrived in ESO. What even is her two-handed skill? 3. She doesn't even have enough points. She doesn't even have enough points to take the perk. Let's get some money and transmog that. Let's see. Withdraw. Take out about like 20,000. Seed money. Two-handed Daedric sword for spell power, but she doesn't have enough. She doesn't have enough to do that with yet, though. Psijic. I mean, that has a nice caster look to it. But if that's the case, what does the Psijic Mace look like? Two-handers. Oh, what have we done? There we go. Yeah, giant dragon head thing. It's interesting how it looks like a staff, almost. Make it gold or something. Now it looks like a dwarf artifact. Where do we put the... Make it sparkle in the sun or something. Oh, this is crazy. Moragtong Maul. Giant hammer or something. Glenmore weird. Psijic Order would probably look really nice. All right, let's set some dies in there. Well, her color is green, so... Her color is green, so why not have it match everything? Which would be woodsman green. Now let's just darken it up a bit. Let's do a jade. Jade, but make it look like it's gold and stuff. Or we could do two, or we could do a mace or something. What was that other one we had? So we had this. Palatine. Giant hammer. Sapiarch maul. Two-handed mace. Psijic. If we're gonna do something like that, it would have to look like this. Make it look like it has some emeralds in it. What does that look like? Either way, it's a two-hander. Either way, it's a two-hander. We don't have the perks yet, but it's a good reason to get some points in it. And what are these new weapon types they have in the game now? Oh, man. What other outfits did she have? We can make it match too, so... Turn purple. Miss Paladin. And Miss Tankadin. Why don't we make the transmogs match everything else too? Heck, we got all that money sitting in the bank from all those crafting writs. Let's go for it. She only has three skill in two-handed. There's never been any reason whatsoever for her to level two-handed until this patch. Plus spell damage. Oh, we are off the beaten path. Switch off to Miss Paladin. Oh yeah, that looks pretty gruesome. Doing what, Psijic on that? Alright, two-handed mace. Make it look really nice. So tempted to make it look like it's made out of gold or something. Otherwise, it just looks like this. We could pick another style, too. Like the Sapiarch Maul. Ashlander. Goblin. Divine Prosecution. I never actually used the Divine Prosecution styles. So we're going to do something like that. We'd want to do something like this with it. More like this. Now let's go with that other one. And just change what it looks like. Psijic order. Let's go with this. That's Vindalia inspired, otherwise just do this. We'll worry about the other ones later. You can always color that staff green as well. Have the dyes match the look. Do that after stream. What do we have for experience scrolls? Probably should get some more from the bank. So she has for... Yeah, she has Dark Flare as the first attack. $9,500. That hits harder. We gotta check the build though. A lot of the comparison between her and Richard Goodmain is light armor versus heavy armor. 17 grand. Ha 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 ha. Nice. It has with less magic as well. Let's redo the build after this random encounter. Well, two-handed to 4. Two-handed to 5. She still has a slow gathering, right? No, she doesn't. All right, let's go into the... while the sun sets on everything. Two-handers. Casters with two-handers. Welcome to the new patch. So I did have something set up for her. So let's do redistribute. Let's have this match up more with what I have with Goodmain here. So we did take... plus weapon and spell damage. We're trying to crank that as high as we can, and then crank magic as well. So to get in on that, we'd have to put this here, then go to here, some offensive pen there, and then take this, back out. What do we have for the rest of those? We were cranking magic as high as it would go. Max magic, and then we had this. Plus damage abilities. Crank that up as high as it would go. Now, why do we really need a bunch of extra magic? Why don't we just take a bunch of extra crit so that there's more critical hits? But if we do that, then we're looking at increase your critical damage. We'd want to get the critical multiplier up as well. So why don't we just do bare minimum? Take that right there. This is the beginning of the tank section. So tanks would be most interested in this area of the constellation. So we're going to just mirror that. We're going to crank magic as high as possible. Since she actually has a disadvantage because of this. You have that's available as well. Doesn't have to be dragged onto the map. Oh, we lost this. Not enough points. Takes them out of here then. There, so plus magic as much as possible. Not so much an emphasis on crit yet. We have to get more points for that. Over to here. Let's see. Money. Money. Way Shrine usage. Enchants. Now the good stuff. Improves the chance of extracting woodwork, etc. and allows the refining... Oh, I'm missing this. We gotta have Goodmane take this too, then. Yeah, this should be the next thing we focus on. Matter of fact, we should give up stages on this one in order to max this one out. And go with it that way. Increase the chance of extracting ingredients, allows the refining of more powerful upgrade materials from raw materials. Actually, I can go back, change Goodmane's build now. Now on this side, over on the red side here, we had insertion point. She doesn't do tanking, so she can have less sprint costs. And then we'll start looking at max health. And then what we want for that, well, we want all three of these. It's always good for my characters to be tough. Because even as a DPS, dead DPS do no DPS. As we saw earlier with the glass cannon that couldn't handle trash. For health recovery, crank the magic all the way as well for recovery there. And see how high the health can go. Which is pretty close. Confirm. We gotta go update the build then for Goodmane, because his ability to refine stuff is nerfed because of this. So, switch off. Let's go get that fixed. I'm sure those Daedra will be gone by the time I get back. How do these streamers do this for like 7-8 hours? They probably need like the best chairs in the world. Otherwise they're signing themselves up for back problems in about 10 years. Interesting. So let's see. Build. Let's redo a few things here. Green tree. We want to get some of that. We want to give up maybe some of the nodes, some of the node yield for now. Actually, maybe we can take down the gold. We can get like the minimum gold or something. Take that down to there in order to get both perks maxed out. Because you do want to be able... We can't get them maxed out just yet. We don't have the points. We'll get there someday. That's part of what the free respecs are all about with this patch, though. Learning the new system and picking what you want and having plenty of time to experiment if you weren't already doing this on the test realm. So let's see. Have the skills set up yet? I don't think she can decon anything just yet. We'd have to go through and set everything up. That's probably what I'm gonna do off stream. Probably gonna go through and I will take a look at some of the other stuff here. Let's see here. Rain. Here we go. Now it's officially a stream. So I'm reading something about this game is now on Xbox Game Pass. Is that why I'm seeing more people in these starter zones? What do we have set for add-ons? Yeah, half the stuff is turned off. So Bandit's UI has been updated, so we can fix that. Yeah, we're gonna take off some of this.
High prices can't be beat.
We'll check the add-ons after the fact. As we know, Alpha Gear can lock gear, so you can't accidentally delete it, or decon it, or sell it. Nice. Alright, some target practice is in order then. In the meantime, we'll get some low-level materials until I get the rest of her points redistributed for skills. Similar numbers, even though she wears more light armor. Is that... Wait a minute. Nope, everything's taken. Likewise on the heavy armor side. She has 5 light, 2 heavy. What was she set to last time? New Moon Acolyte? Yeah, Crafty Alfiq and New Moon Acolyte. Might want to revisit some Giuliano's gear. Not as much for crit damage, huh? Still 10-1. That's roughly in line with what I was getting earlier. Two-handed to 6. Well, let's have it make a little bit more sense. $16.5. Okay, that's making a little more sense now. 16-2. Primal Sproutling. Is that a pet? Nah, it's something you sell to a merchant. Show up to a dungeon with this and have people think it's like a scepter or something. Like, what is that, new weapon type? No, it's a two-handed mace. It's just the Psijic Order's two-handed mace. $14.8. Two-handed to 7. Well, we got some points out of the deal. But I think this is enough running around in the rain for one day. That settles it. So, good job, Zenimax. Good job, Zenimax, in getting people to want to use two-handed weapons with caster characters. But it's all part of helping people get more comfortable with playing as hybrids. In any event, it's about time I relaxed a bit and didn't sit at attention for hours on end. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.